Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is middle of the month for the month of May Tarot Oracle reading. And Aries, you are the star of this astrological insight. If your sun sign is not in Aries, we all have a little bit of Aries in us somewhere. If you do have your birth chart, what house is Aries in? That will give you further clarity as to your situation now. If this is also a timely reading, so if it's been a while since I posted this, what was going on in your life back then, that could give you further clarity as to your situation now. Just bear with me for a minute here. I'm starting a new spread because I wanted to highlight my horoscope paintings from my oracle in my spread, but I have to figure out for sure if it's going to show up, and I'm not used to doing this spread yet. That'll work. Okay, thank you for your patience. All right, so we have, for the underlying energy for the reading, we have the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is the Pentacles represent health, wealth, and happiness in the third dimension. And sorry, I'm being fussy here. I'm just wanting to make sure that I have this lined up correctly. Whenever you're doing a new spread, it's an event. All right, so the King of Pentacles is representing health, wealth, and happiness in the 3D, basically. And this is talking about, of course, money is a big part of that. So the pentacle energy, it's the element of air, and it's represented by a coin. Now the coin, money is very important in your, of course, in the 3D life that we live in these days. And but you could have all the money in the world and still not be living the lifestyle that you want. So this energy actually represents your lifestyle. The King of Pentacles would be someone that's really admired for his business acumen. And so that could be you. And this is talking about someone that would probably be in, high up in their profession. They would be possibly someone in the banking industry. So if they're a banker, like working for a bank, they would probably be at a managerial position. This energy is also talking about, it could be financial advisors, insurance salesmen, retirement planners. That type of energy. We could also definitely have something to do with real estate, being that it's the element of earth. If this is a real estate agent, it would be someone that's selling properties that are higher value, and someone who's very established. This could also represent land developers, builders, that type, contractors, that type of energy. This could be someone who's the head financial advisor of a big corporation, or even possibly an entrepreneur who's doing very well. Now the king, he has grapes all over his robe here, and those grapes represent the in tarot, grapes represent luxury. It's talking about someone who has a luxurious lifestyle and is admired for his ability to be able to grow grapes because they're hard to grow. This energy here is talking about the Wheel of Fortune. We want to do this one first. It's amazing how if you change a little thing in the spread like this, how challenging it can be for my mind when I'm in the zone here. Okay, so the Ace of Pentacles is talking about a reward coming in. This is representing your internal forces. The internal forces are what you have control over. This is talking about you're being gifted a reward from the universe and from the Most High for staying on your destined path, doing things in the correct way, basically, and being the best version of you that you can be on your path of glory. And so this is your internal forces are the things that would keep you up at night saying, what if? Like, what if they do this and I do that? What if I have to do this and then they do that? That what ifs, the woulda, shoulda, couldas of life, that we can keep it. They could keep us up all night if we get into that thinking loop. Then we have the Wheel of Fortune, and the Wheel of Fortune is turning in your favor. And this is in your position of how you identify with yourself right now. You're feeling lucky. Lucky in love, and because of the Ace of Cups here, passionate, and a lot of love for the lifestyle you're living, plus this reward. Look at this, your internal forces. You have 3 aces showing up here. Now that, I think, is some sort of record, Aries. That could represent all the planets that are sitting in your house for sure. So the Wheel of Fortune is, you know, actually 3 wheels, and they're turning the past, the present, and the future all together to bring you better fortune into this, synchronized into now. It's interesting because the Wheel of Fortune is actually 3 wheels, and on one of these wheels are the Hebrew letters for the name of God, which is Tetragrammaton. And this is, Tetragrammaton is a sacred geometric symbol that symbolizes unity, perfect order, beauty and design, you know, efficiency, all the beautiful things that God has created on our planet. And then we have the Ace of Wands energy. So this is how you're identifying feeling lucky. I don't blame you with these 3 aces here already. And this is talking about the Ace of Wands energy. And this is, the wands represent the element of fire, and they are made of wood because wood fuels fire. They also come from a tree, so that represents the deep roots of our ancestors, as well as the offshoots representing our descendants. So this is talking about, you know, having passion for whatever you're doing. It's a new feeling of having more passion than you've had in the past. Well, if the Wheel of Fortune is turning for you, that would certainly be the case. You know, you start feeling happy. It's talking about really being enthusiastic about moving forward, and in matters of love being very passionate. We do have the 10 of Cups coming in here. So the 10 of Cups is representing, you know, a promise of fulfillment. This is, you know, that 10 Cups is the most that you can have in the tarot, and this is saying this is a wish for you coming true, basically, or likely to, if you put the energy and the effort in. And this is talking about, you know, having the family, the perfect partner, loving where you live, that type of energy, loving your career, being passionate about what you're doing. This is fulfillment in a perfectly imperfect world. And then we have so this is your abundance, and this here is communication from early life. So you were probably raised by people that, you know, were happily married, traditionally had, you know, you had probably at least a middle class or upper middle class upbringing. And then this, quite often that could be the case, or you were around people that influenced you with that energy. And then this is talking about the moon. Moon represents hidden illusions and secrets coming out. It can also be a very emotional time. It's the energy right now, astrologically, there's not a whole lot of new energy coming in, thank the Lord, because it's been a lot of astrological influences coming in. Really, we're not dealing with too much new at all, except for on May 16th, we will have the new moon in the sign of Taurus coming in. And I'll explain a little bit more about that in I do new moon, full moon readings that are bonus readings, and that will come shortly after this one. So I'll get into it more, but basically the Taurus energy is about, you know, materials, because Taurus is the toddler of the universe, and the energy is, you know, it's the second sign. It's the one after you, basically, and it's about gaining material possessions. And the thing about Taurus is they want to feel very secure, and that's the energy that basically this moon might be. You might be like concerned about, you know, your security financially, etc. This energy, or making plans for, because the economy, like just the way the world is right now, there's a lot of shift going on. And I mean, the first 3 months of of this year have been extremely challenging astrologically, a lot of significant changes. And so the moon energy is talking about this lobster is wanting to climb out of this emotional water and get on his path. But he's trying to figure out, how can I get past this dog and this wolf that are howling at the moon? You know, it's like, whoa, like, what am I going to do? But then he decides, I'm just going to have to be vulnerable. I want to get on my path. Sometimes this card can represent that you have been very domestic and maybe need to get out more. And or you're a wild child and maybe you need to come home from partying once in a while. So, and also the full moon, the new moon, and the eclipse are all represented here. So the eclipses, the eclipse season happened in February 17th and March 3rd, and that energy sits with us for 6 months. I describe it as potpourri boiling on the back burner of the stove. You know, you don't really notice it too much. You enjoy the smell of it or the scent, but you're not. It's not your number one priority yet. The energy of the eclipses stays with us for 6 months, and it does tend to bring about significant change in our lives. We're so busy dealing with the significant change that we don't really we're not really aware of it. And then when we look back 6 months later, we're like, wow, I sure made a lot of changes in my life. So that energy is being brought in here. And then we have the Emperor. So the Emperor is all about performance. This, I should just say, this moon is your emotional foundation. So if you're feeling a little bit emotional right now and you're feeling insecure about your finances, that type of energy, you're worried about the way the economy is going, a lot of people are kind of in that energy. Recognize that Pluto, on May 6th, Pluto moved into, went retrograde, and it moved into the sign of Aquarius, and that it's going to be there until October, like the middle of October, and it just makes us feel a little bit of confusion sometimes about our problems, and it magnifies the problems. So a lot of people get kind of you know, a little bit, might feel a little bit edgy about their performance. Like, am I going to be able to do well in this economy, and that type of energy. And so this is sitting also in your creativity, your romance, and children. So it could be, you know, just in general, you're feeling a little bit of confusion or magnifying the problems that are happening in your family. Or, you know, even your children's problems, your spouses, you know, that type of energy. So just be aware of that could be that Pluto in retrograde just causing that. Now is a really good time if you have, like, you're wanting to make changes and that, to do research, though. It's very powerful for that and about getting into your power. So it's if you use that energy carefully in the way that it's meant to be used, you'll be able to really use it in a good way. And look at, we have another ace here, and this is the Ace of Cups. So if you're looking for love, if you don't have that love in your life as of yet, this is saying that, you know, there's a divine partner that may be interested in you. This is a gift from the divine for and then collaborating with the universe to bring this energy in for you. This cup is overflowing with love. It refills itself. And we have the dove there saying that there's peace. And this is talking about, you know, the water lilies growing here represent, you know, beauty coming from the mud. So from the confusion, you could have a lot of really powerful energy. Now, if you have someone in your life already with this passion in this card, it could mean that you're going to have new passion for your partner again. Maybe feel like you're on your honeymoon again kind of energy. Maybe you need to go on a second honeymoon with all this passion going on here. Aries energy is already fiery enough. So this is the Ace of Cups is talking about also, it doesn't have to be romantic love. It could be love of someone or something else. And it also could be talking about something you love to be or something you love to do. So again, with this energy here and all the pentacle energy, it could be that you are looking at having, starting a business or doing something to do with that kind of energy. And this is in the position, it would change. This is saying that there could be a change in your daily routine and in your habits, like especially like if you bring someone new into your life, or if you're bringing in a new business or a new business partner, that type of energy, or possibly you're expanding your family. What could be better cup of love than a baby coming through if you're ready for it? That type of energy. And so the underlying energy then for the external forces is the temperance energy. Now, I'm not really reading for the temperance energy right now because I don't know. I just did a reading a couple days ago, and it was kind of like they're just fed up right now, and I'm just getting don't bring their energy into the readings right now. They're just taking a respite. It's just been a little bit much dealing with people. And I just don't want, I don't want to bring that energy in until I feel like it's appropriate. All right, so it's nothing to worry about. We're just not going to read that card. We have transition coming in. So transition is in your position of your partnerships and your commitments and marriage. So a lot of people get afraid when they see this card. This is representing the external forces, and the external forces, I don't know, the angels, I did a reading yesterday, and the angels and the galactic angels said they need some time off. Basically, they're on strike. And until I feel like, okay, and it's just kind of fed up with being babysitting adults that know better, and they want to see what happens if they're out there on their own for a bit. So that's the energy. I'm honoring that. This death card, don't be upset by it. It's a scary looking card, but it doesn't normally mean an actual physical death. This is talking about a transition. This is about an end of a cycle, and we already see that with this energy here. And we have this energy is talking about the Grim Reaper coming into town, bringing in change and significant change. So it's like a definite ending, and then it's a beginning of something new. And this is this person here is bartering, like, can I, we don't want your change, Grim Reaper, get out of town. And these young children here are saying, yes, we do. And one of them even has a flower and is offering it to the Grim Reaper. So this energy is talking about significant change, and we have that energy kind of sitting in this reading. So the significant change could definitely be for you with this Wheel of Fortune and all these aces for the better. And this is also talking about the king here has been trampled, but it's not representing an actual king being trampled. It's representing a lot of changes in the upper establishment of, governments, etc. There's a lot of energy moving around with the leaders of the country, and we see that right now. That's not surprising. This also could talk about the end of something that you thought you would never see end. Like you might have a hobby, for instance, and you just love it, and everybody knows you love it. And then you wake up one morning and you just say, you know what? I don't really want to do that anymore. And everybody's like, what? And you're like, yeah, no, I don't know what happened, but I just woke up this morning and I realized I want a new hobby. It's that type of energy. So, this could also bleed into that energy of partnerships, commitments, and marriage. And maybe if you're starting a new business, it could represent someone who is well respected in the community, wanting to invest in your business. We do have the Chariot coming in. So the Chariot is talking about this is on the way. It's already happening on the spiritual realm, and it's moving into the physical as we speak. And so this is talking like there's no rains here, because you're on the chariot, and this is actually external forces coming towards you. The external forces, you're not going to be saying what if anymore. You're going to be saying EF, what the F happened. And that could be like a joyous expression or one that's negative, depending on your situation. But you're on the chariot, the wheel of fortune is coming in. So I feel whatever change you're going through is going to be very beneficial, and it's already occurring on the spiritual level. And so that means, and it also means that the reason you're receiving all this bountiful energy is because you are on your destined path, and you're being the best version you can be. So I'm sure the angel actually would be saying, congratulations, you don't need me right now. They just don't want to deal with any more baby adults. And then we have the Ace of Swords, or the Page of Swords. So Page of Swords, the pages would work for the king and queen. Back in the old days, you know, the lifespan was very short, so they would start, you know, about half of what it is now. So they would work for the king and queen at a very young age, 7 to 14, depending on how mature they were. And a lot of the pioneers that came to Canada, you know, they homesteaded around 14 years of age. So it was very different back then, out of necessity. And the energy here is talking about the sword energy. The sword energy is the element of air, and it's talking about you know, your mental intelligence, your thoughts, your discipline of your mind, etc. And the Page of Swords represents communication. That would be his main task. Would be to deliver communication and information within the palace walls. And then if he became, you know, if he was good at doing, and he was, you know, doing really well, he might be able to actually, when he was older, and he could afford a horse at 21 generally, that he could become a knight. So this type of energy is talking about communication coming in. In the old days, this would always be a male, but these days this could very much be a female energy as well. And this was representing someone that's, you know, under the age of 21, basically, enthusiastic. He is the only page that is not looking at his sword, like at the element. And that's because he's looking away, because he already knows logically what the answer is. So he's wanting to look away and think outside the box and use his intuition as well as his logic. So the swords represent, they're double-edged swords, so they represent your logic and your intuition for creative solutions. And so this energy is representing some sort of communication coming in. And again, it's like a breath of fresh air. It's like feeling youthful again. So a lot of that energy coming in. It's awesome. These days, the information, you know, you don't have to expect it to come in by person. It's more likely actually probably to come in by a phone call, a text message, an email, maybe something, some documents. It could be that type of energy in the mail. You could be on social media and someone messages you there. Maybe you see an event posted, you attend, and then you meet someone that's in person. That's the perfect person for you to meet. And that energy can also be like just an aha moment that you have, like, aha, I have come to a conclusion. Sometimes this can also talk about an investigation going on for some reason, and you know, that can be also kind of energy of a private detective, that type of energy. We have, okay, because now these are external forces coming in, and so you know, this is partnership, commitment, and marriage. Now this is about the transition. So this transition is coming in of this. So if you've been in some sort of energy where you've been waiting to find out something, or, you know, there's some sort of information that you need, it from the external forces, it's coming in now. It's coming your way, and it causes the wheel to turn. And so this is talking about someone on, like, in the external forces is in this energy. This is a mental prison. For some reason, you receiving this is putting them in a mental prison. This energy is like they can't see a way out of a situation here. There's a lot of water here, a lot of emotion. You can see that, you know, they've been standing there a long time, and there's nothing really stopping them. But it's like an energy of feeling bound up, like they can't make a move. They don't know what to do. They can't see a way out, kind of energy. And but their right foot is forward, and it's and that's about taking action. And they're on putting a foot on dry land, and this energy is the left foot is still in a puddle. And so, you know, but it's very shallow. So it's not like it's shallow emotion, but there's way less emotion when these thoughts. So they've put like 7 thoughts behind them, and they have this one thought. Okay, I guess that's the action that I'm going to have to take. And they're duty bound to take it. This is kind of interesting, because if you are waiting for something and you feel like, you know, it has to do with pentacles, because this reward coming in for you, this, you know, this energy is talking about some transition happening also for someone, possibly on the external. And this could be someone that you made some sort of commitment with, or it could be your partner in business, or even your spouse, you know, that romantic partner. There might be someone new coming in. Because this card is sometimes representing police, like someone's being arrested after an investigation and they're going to jail. Sometimes that's not just a mental prison. Sometimes this energy can represent actual prison. And it's coming in from the external forces. And we do have a lot of energy here. Well, that would explain why this angel is like, no, I'm not helping them out anymore. They were warned many, many times. At what they were doing, they were going to get caught, and it's their problem now. They need to talk. They need to deal with it on their own. Woo! And then look at this energy. This is talking about the shift disturber. And so this energy is the 7 of Swords is representing an energy like it's a walking contradiction. So this is someone that we don't really know what he's doing, but we can tell like he's a walking contradiction. He has planted 2 swords here, and then he's carrying these other 5, and he's in broad daylight, but he's sneaking, you know, and but it's so ridiculous because he's got this bright red cap and bright red boots, and yet in broad daylight he's sneaking away from this village with 5 swords and planted 2. And so he's looking at the past over his shoulder, and he's moving forward into the future, but he's not looking where he's going. So this is, yeah, really not that great of energy. This is talking about the position of this is your career and reputation. Their career and reputation, because it's external forces. But they may have been trying to put something on you and say you were the one that did it, because this energy sometimes can be like, if this is a thief, if he's stealing these swords, this could be intellectual material, this could be patents, that type of energy, this could be white collar crime. You know, he's sitting at his desk in broad daylight, that's something to do with finances here, and he is you know, this can talk about like forgery, identity theft, that type of energy. So the external forces, no wonder the angel didn't want to show up for this one. She's like, let him deal with it on his own. And this is the other energy. This is talking about, I mean, have you ever seen anyone carry swords like that? You know, this is, you know, so dangerous. Like if he trips, he could really hurt himself here. And I mean, these are super sharp, and he's not looking where he's going. He could easily trip, or, you know, trip up. And and this energy, if he's that dangerous with his own energy, how dangerous do you think he is with handling other people's energy? Yeah. And look at this. Wow. Isn't that different? Hey, look at the beauty in the first 3 aces, all this wonderful energy coming in. And this high-level performance. But on the external forces, yeah, they're getting caught doing something. I do feel so. This is someone rushing in with information now. And you know what's interesting is this is the Page of Swords that's been knighted. This is him younger and now older. Wow. So he doesn't want to look at the information coming in. And this is saying that it's coming in. And it's talking about, he's running away from the police for what he did here. Isn't that wild? Isn't that crazy? All right, so we have the Knight of Swords. This is talking about communication coming in again, and it could definitely be about a situation here. This card can represent jail, like prison, not just mental prison. And this is talking about a fool rushing in, basically, someone who has half the information and they're kind of in a panic, you know. I mean, look at this energy. Even the clouds are panicking. They're like, it's like they've been ripped. And this is talking about, we can only see half his sword here. So he doesn't even have the full information. We can't see the point, and maybe he can't either. There's a big red flag. His horse is totally stressed out. He's running against the wind and through barren land. Ooh, somebody got caught. Somebody's or about to get caught. Okay, so that's pretty clear, but I'm going to clarify now with my oracle. And this is a painting from one of my the Aries painting from my oracle. Has and I thought I'm gonna put them out here to brighten the scene a little bit here. And so I started this back in 2007, and in 2020 I completed all 64 paintings, and I'm working on bringing it out right now, but I'm gathering information because I do have a lot of information on like on my website, talesfromthevector.com, and I am right now working on gathering the information with how does this work with working with a lot of people. Like when I bring the oracle out, I want to make sure that it works in action, and the only way is to play with it for a while here, because there's a lot of information already. All right, so look at that, look at that. So we have this energy here. There's transition coming in for you. I feel this is saying that the external forces, there's some energy here where you're going to be much better off, because then we have, this is again that same energy of a transition happening. And the transition is you getting all these pentacles, this reward. And this is falling and failing in love as a matter of I feel that if your partner was involved in something, business partner or family members or acquaintances, someone that you've been with here, this transition, whatever was going on here, it's over. I mean, it might not be over. It's over. It's already been decided on the spiritual end, and that's coming into the physical. So the falling star energy is a matter of falling and failing in love, is a matter of I. And this, this could be really devastating for you, what you hear. So just be aware of that. That's the type of energy coming in. But it's about recognizing that it's for the better for you, like to know what was really going on. And the Libra energy here is talking about having the passion, as well as being mature enough to be able to handle being married. Libra is when it's the scales of justice also, but it's talking about bringing in, like, you're a mature adult now, and you understand what a true commitment is, and you're ready for it, and you can anticipate the journey ahead of you instead of having expectations that maybe are young and you're not mature enough to understand how big of a commitment a marriage and starting marriage is. So if this relationship is failing, then you have to recognize that you have to love yourself enough to heal your heart to be able to move forward. And we have the Hierophant energy coming in also, and this is saying it's going to bring in justice for you. This is the traditional structure, so this is talking about court systems, law, that type of energy. And that's going to be, for you, it's going to bring the possibility of fulfillment, and get this, in a perfectly imperfect world, that you'll be able to go on a foolhardy journey because you've stayed on your path even when it was really, really challenging and tough. You didn't take shortcuts. You didn't involve yourself in anything illegal or anything like that. You stayed above the law. And this is, the energy is talking about having a really good attitude, which is empowers your performance for sure. Like the Emperor, you know, is all four kings from the minor arcana rolled into one person who is has the authority. This sometimes can represent like this could represent the Hierophant energy coming in to bring justice to your situation. Because we've got, like, this is about having a strong attitude for you. And then we have Temperance coming in again. And I feel like it's come in again because it's saying, hey, congratulations, being patient on your journey. We're working for you, because we could see what was going on. This person has been warned and warned again. And now that's why in the external forces, they're on their own. There's no no help from the angels. Like they're saying, we warned you, we did everything we could to get you back on your path, and you stayed off it. But there's a tower that's hit in the external forces, definitely. It says divorce on there as well, but the divorce is when you actually, when you divorce yourself from source energy. That's the worst divorce of all. Now, because the angels, the galactic angels, no one is interested in dealing with this this energy anymore. Any of the people involved in this, they've been warned over and over and over again. And it's just like, well, I guess you're a grown-up. You're going to have to be a grown-up and deal with the consequences now of your actions. And we have the guiding star energy coming in here. So this is talking about you were, the energy is, you know, while you were following your path, your North Star energy, they decided to go in a different direction, basically. And so the energy from the external forces is bringing in what was possibly taken from you. And so this energy is, we have Virgo energy here, and this is talking about the transition, the communication coming in. Virgo is all about, you know, Mercury, it rules Virgo energy, and it's talking about being able to, for the truth to be brought in, and to put things back into perfect order. I just want to point out, when I have horoscope signs coming up in my readings, I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about the state of being of each of the signs. And every sign has its own strengths and weaknesses. We can learn from all of them. If you ever get your birth chart done, you'll find out that you probably have most of the signs somewhere in your chart. So we have a little bit of most of the signs in each of us. And we can learn from the energy and do a better job. Now we have the Emperor showing up here. So the Emperor energy on top of this is investigation. I feel that's representing the Emperor is responsible for is the Hierophant energy, bringing this energy in. And there's been an investigation, and there's been some sort of judgment being made about you know, the direction this investigation is going in. We have Sagittarius energy on top of this. I just want to point out also that these individual signs, if your intuition is saying, no, Colette, those people that were involved were the people, like that's the correct sign, use your intuition with that. I just want you to be aware that I'm reading for a lot of people here, and I just don't see how it's possible that everybody that's in this situation has the same sign doing that energy. It doesn't make sense to me. I prefer to take it on this other. So this is talking about, you know, this is in the position of your career and reputation and what they were trying behind your back, what they were trying to do to stop you from being able to expand and you know, that could be expand your business or just be free to travel, and exactly what they wanted for you. That's what is coming back to them. Bang. Just like that. And it's a lot of energy, because I feel like, you know, you can just feel it. And this is attachment is a karmic space. And this energy, look what the card says. What's yours is mine, and what's mine is mine. Wow. So that's in, you know, blessings coming in. And so actually what's yours is yours and what's theirs is theirs. They're correct. But when we become attached to something, this is someone that decided that they were attached to your destiny, to your outcome. And so they, you know, applied themselves to take that. Wow. And then we have the moon energy coming up again here. Hidden illusions, anything from the past. That's what this position is anyway. That you can, you'll have reckless abandon after this, which is WRECK, because you've learned to discipline your mind and not, you know, and stay and look at all the, look at the reward. You have 3 aces just in the in your internal forces. You're part of what you're in control of. The aces are coming in, you know, that energy is just, you know, it's all like fulfillment, passion, the Wheel of Fortune's turning in your favor. So if you are in some sort of legalities, just know that, and you've been wondering if you'll ever get justice, I feel that there's more justice coming in. That justice is coming in from the energy. Uranus is in Gemini until 2033, the beginning of 2033. And that energy, bottom line, is bringing in the energy of justice and truth coming in. And we see that being played out in the planet. I feel like every day there's going to be another big truth coming out, and in individuals' lives, it will be reflected down. So this is awesome energy. I do hope you've enjoyed this. Give it a like and comment if you have. Consider subscribing if you resonate with the energy of the channel, and I'll be back with another reading for you soon. Bye for now.